Good morning and welcome. I'm Karen, this is Veronica's Dreams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Hope y'all are doing great. Let's see what things are going on. I'm using sticking with it says the Shadow Realm. Yeah, sorry, I keep forgetting what it's called. And the Radiant Wise as clarifying. Let's take a look what's going on. Current situation. Ooh, Five of Wands. They look kind of angry. Present influence. Two of Wands. Future influence. Four of Swords. Unexpected. Eight of Wands. Challenge. Knight of Coins. Strength. Nine of Coins. That's good. Where does this lead? Hanged Man. Knight of Wands. And Eight of Cups. Still having that Eight of Cups showing up constantly. Like, there's just really something where you know that you have to move away from. Let's do advice. I like that, the Death card. The Empress is at the bottom of the deck. So this feels to me like taking care of yourself. You know, but that's been kind of a theme for the last few days. It's been kind of the theme of, you know, looking at what serves you and what's the best thing for you to do, not necessarily for those around you. I feel like that's kind of been the theme lately anyway. The Five of Wands is in the current situation, which is conflict. Now, it can be competition, it can be conflict, but you know, when I look at this card too, it's like fighting with yourself as well. There could be a point where you're conflicting with yourself and ideas of what to do or how to move forward, because we have the Two of Wands in the present influence, which is, you know, mapping out what do I need to do next? How do I need to move forward? And it's bringing conflict for you. Now, let's clarify the Five of Wands. I want to get that one. Let's see, what is the Five of Wands, please? Because that's what, you know, when you're trying to decide how to move forward with something and you're fighting with yourself, it kind of holds you back from moving forward. Again, the Four of Swords is sitting there too. So that's kind of a stall, especially in the Hangman. You know, we get those cards when we're, you know, not, I don't want to say stagnant because that's not it either. They're both important non-movement cards, but they're non-movement. They're not moving forward. Two of Wands. How do we do this? Five of Wands. Conflict. Tell me about the conflict, please. Nine of Cups, Seven of Pentacles, and Page of Cups. You know, the Nine of Cups is, you know, working for what your desires, your true desires are, reaching those true desires. The Seven of Pentacles is partly the patience to get there. And the Page of Cups, to me, the conflict is you may get a message coming in that conflicts with how you want to move forward. Like, I feel like there is this push-pull that's been happening in the readings lately, like where it's, this is what I want to do. Oh no, that devil came in. Those kind of cards where it's like, no, you're gonna not move forward. You're gonna stick right here. So there's this push-pull in the decisions you're trying to make and moving forward. It may be because they're big decisions. It may be because something is getting in the way. Or it may be that you get a message that makes you feel all good about the situation, but in reality, is it? And but you know, okay, so here's the deal. You have the Seven of Pentacles here, which means you've been waiting to kind of see an outcome, and then this comes in, and now you're conflicted on how to move forward. We also have the Knight of Coins in the challenge, which is the patience. You know, things don't happen overnight, and that's going to be something to take a look at as we move forward. So That's what I'm guessing. Let's look at the Two of Wands, because what is this plan? But we're conflicted about it. Tell me, I still have that star backwards. Let me fix it. What is this Two of Wands, please? Let's see. Five of Wands. The Fool, Eight of Cups again. There's that Eight of Cups. So yeah, which way do I go? I mean, that's so you're moving away from the conflict with the Fool. I don't feel like you want to jump into the conflict, but I feel like that you need to start over because things have been kind of hard with that five. The five is a hard card as far as who wants to have that conflict or even competition. When we're in a sport and we are expecting competition, playing a game or doing a sport or something that is true competition, but we don't want it in our day to day, not really, maybe a little bit, competitive spiritness, but not driving us. The Fool is, so keep in mind the Two of Wands is about the plan. So the Fool is, okay, I just need to do this. I just need to walk away. And then I got that coming back around with that Page of Cups as a clarifier to the conflict, because there's something that happens that's making you second guess. But this is about what you want to do and how you want to move forward. You want to get away from the conflict, but something is pulling you back, and that's that Page of Cups. It's some kind of message. It could be directly from someone coming back into your life or to prod you, or it could be an offer of some sort that's not necessarily negative, but it's not going to serve what direction you have planned. And then we have the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords in our future influence is saying that we need to chill, take a break from this. We need to make sure that we're healed here, because if you keep running back into the same situation, maybe you're not healed. You're not ready to walk away from it yet. Tell me more about this Four of Swords. Seven of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Ten of Swords. It's you having to recognize that something's over. You've it's taken a bit, but I feel like the Four of Swords is you finally recognizing that there is a situation is absolutely over. And this is not going to be easy in the next couple days. It could happen really soon, but you're going to say this is not easy, because you've been knowing that it's over, but there's been that Nine of Cups, that dream that, oh, maybe it's not over. Maybe I need to hold on to this. And I feel like you've been holding on to it for a while. And this is saying, no, you're going to actually finally, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Wands, recognize that there's an absolute utter ending here. And that's the healing. That's why you're going to be kind of just healing from that. Now, the Eight of Wands is in your unexpected. Eight of Wands is about, movement. It's in every deck, no matter what the deck is, the Eight of Wands is a movement of some sort. It can be messages coming in as well. So let's take a look at that, because we did get the Page of Cups, which I do feel like is a message. So there's something that you're not expecting here. I do believe, since it's the Eight of Wands, I feel like it's positive to help you, make your choices, right? Okay, so what is this Eight of Wands? Ace of Cups, Knight of Wands, Page of Wands. We have the Knight of Wands over here too. So, which the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands can be kind of the same thing. I feel like they both can be travel. They both can be, moving. They're both very fast cards, but there is some kind of new opportunity that's going to come in really quickly, and you're probably going to take it. And I say that because we do have the Knight of Wands here. But I have a feeling, just because the Eight of Cups follows that this gets you away from this ending. It kind of sparks you up a little bit. But there is a little bit of patience that will be needed here. But there must be something that comes in that's going to make you decide to So the Page of Wands to me is a lot of times it's a young wand court, right? So that's not thinking about things, jumping into something where they haven't really thought it through. It's the Fool, but not a major, right? So it's not, doesn't carry as much weight as the Fool card, but it is that idea that I need to do this. And it is something that's important to you with this Ace of Cups. It's not necessarily a relationship, but I do feel like it it tugs at your heart a little bit. Like it's important to you, right? It's really important. So then what do we have? We have the Knight of Coins in the challenge. That is patience. Things that we're doing, things that you're putting into place take time. Even if it's not you, like this Eight of Wands is an opportunity, I feel like coming in. Still things can take time. Let's just make sure that there's anything else we need to know about that Knight of Coins. What else do we need to know? Okay, Four of Swords, Five of Wands, Three of Cups. It takes time to heal. I think it's like asking you to be patient to the Knight of Pentacles is about being patient, and we've got the Four of Swords, the healing, the conflict, the whatever that conflict is, before you can reach, um, you know, the Three of Cups, like celebration, not celebration, but feeling comforted by the people around you, kind of feeling. So I do feel like this is going to take a little bit of time. It's just asking you to be patient because this is what you really want. You want to get excited again, being around people that bring out the best in you and and make you feel good about who you are and celebrating. Um, so it's just asking you to be, it's going to be hard to get through that. It doesn't happen overnight, and that's what the cards are saying. You have the Nine of Coins and the Strength, which is, this gives you the opportunity to really, again, you know how I feel about the Nine of Coins. Looking at what you have, saying, oh, you know what, I have done a lot. I have accumulated. This is what I have done, the Nine of Coins. It's not just about being single and independent, but it is about being successful in what you've done and what you've accumulated, whether it's actual things or whether it's knowledge or whether it's just maturity. I don't want to say just, because that's probably the most important thing, but and verifying to yourself, I have done that. I have. So then where does this lead? It leads to the Hangman. And it goes Hangman, Knight of Wands, Eight of Cups. So to me, this is, oh, I've got to figure out what to do. I feel like this is just coupled with the Two of Wands to the Four of Swords. I'm healing. I got to figure out what to do. Knight of Wands. It is self-reflection. It is taking a different look at things, because that Knight of Wands comes up again, and then the Eight of Cups. Like, I need to just move forward. I need to move forward. Tell me more about this Hangman. Let's do the Hangman first. Four of Pentacles, King of Wands, and then the Tower. So, you're holding on to something that I feel like the King of Wands is about passion, excitement, something, that's kind of exciting. The Hangman is, though, like the change. So if something just, we talked about the final ending, the Ten of Swords there with that Four of Swords, really healing over something. The Tower, though, to me is, there is a change happening here. So you need to take a step back and look at it. And that's what the Hangman is, because whatever you were holding on to before that is now ending, there's something changing here. It doesn't mean that's coming back. It doesn't mean that situation is, but it puts you in a different frame of mind. So if this was like upsetting or was, hard to get through, the change is, what I'm seeing as the change is, okay, this is different now. And how do I move forward with that? Because it's different. And the change, and and that's what you're working through as things go forward. And then we have the Knight of Wands, which I'm going to clarify, the Knight of Wands. So the Knight of Wands is in your, after that. Isn't that a pretty card? What is this Knight of Wands, please? So the Knight of Wands can be travel, could be someone coming in, it can be all kinds of things. I feel like it's moving because it's moving towards that Eight of Cups, which then is you understanding where you need to go. Tell me about this Knight of Wands, Ten of Cups, Hierophant, and Eight of Wands. Like, isn't that funny? Because the Knight of Wands clarified the Eight of Wands. So this is directly related to that Eight of Wands. Ten of Cups and Hierophant and Eight of Wands. Yeah, there's something that, like, there is some kind of commitment happening here. Now, this Ten of Cups doesn't have to be a love relationship or have anything to do, but the Eight of Wands, if you remember, there was the Ace of Cups and in the clarifying, and this has the Ten of Cups. So it's like reaching a pivotal time in a relationship. Again, there is some kind of forward movement here, though, because, and maybe a commitment. Now, it doesn't mean there's a commitment to staying together. It means that you may be committed to, I need to move on. This was good at one time. That's what I'm feeling. Like, it's like, I want to like look at it as a commit, but I think it's you committing to yourself on how to move forward. The Eight of Wands, Knight of Wands, moving forward. Let's look at the Eight of Cups, because you've got the Eight of Cups. And I feel like that's, I'm hoping this is like it, like, right? But it keeps coming up. So the Eight of Cups has come up so many times in our readings. I'm sitting here looking at another deck, by the way. My Barbier deck is sitting here and it has the Four of Swords, and I just kind of was looking at that. You know, I haven't taken notice to that. Also, it has the Fool right there. Isn't that funny? Like when you, I haven't noticed that. So, what is the Eight of Cups, please? Tell me about this Eight of Cups. Okay, Knight of Cups, Two of Swords. You making that decision again. Something's really hard. Knight of Cups, Two of Swords, Nine of Wands. There is something coming in that's going to challenge you a little bit here. And I think because it's setting forth on what to do next. You know you need to make this decision. You know you need to drop one of these swords. You know you feel like, I'm not going to say you really truly feel like you need to walk away and head for, something a little more sustainable or something, because this trip has been really hard. And I feel like there is something that's messing with you here, though. I'm not going to lie. Like every time you decide that the right thing to do is to move away, something gets in the way, and that's the Nine of Wands. That's why it's so hard for you. That's why the Eight of Cups keeps coming up every day. We've had it several times where, and the Six of Swords, where we know we need to do something, but there's something that keeps pulling us back. And it's that. Now, this doesn't have to be a person, but it could be like, no, I really want this. I really want this. This is really pulling at my heartstrings, or really enticing me. It does, again, it can be a job, it can be anything, but it's enticing you. And then you're like, no, I've got to make a decision because this is way too hard. So I feel like, I'm hoping, like, let's pull one more card after. What comes after this Eight of Cups? Can you tell us what comes after this Eight of Cups? Two of Swords. Okay, so you're just going to be set up with a decision. It feels to me like that decision has to be made at some point here, because, and I don't know, it's easier said than done, right? This is what needs to be done versus how you feel at the time, because that Knight of Cups says a lot. It says, like, whatever the situation is just really yanking at your heartstrings here. So the Death card is our advice. I mean, especially looking at the cards in this reading, it's really about allowing yourself to grow, allowing yourself to change the situation, change whatever it is, but allow yourself to really grow. And allow yourself to change, but not necessarily to let this fit in. I want to be careful there too, because if the situation is not necessarily good for you, then we don't want to change to make it good for us, right? So, but part of it is when we know we need to do something and we keep stalling, that's when we need to say, what do I need to do to change to really move forward, to really break that tie, to really take advantage of that Eight of Cups. And I think the Two of Swords came after that because you have to make that decision. You know that you have to put down one of those swords. You cannot keep them both in the air forever, because it's going to just constantly feel like you're in a spiral, constantly just going in circles. You're not moving forward until you really make that decision to do so. And I think the Death card is understanding, part of me too wants to say, understand the parts that need to come back alive in you. Like if there's been something that's been suppressed, or you've been suppressing something, maybe that needs to kind of come back out. Like, has there been something that you've been just holding in and not being yourself, or not taking advantage of, or not doing? Like if you've had a hobby and you haven't been doing that, or you have something that really brings you joy and you haven't been doing that, bring that back. Bring that back in and see if that like can really spark you to make the changes that you really need to, or you need to. So we'll call it a reading here with that Death card, and it's absolutely beautiful. So think about that too. So take care. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a beautiful day.